they did shelf us a bit.
Too dumb.
That's staying in.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Can I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Ready to pod?
Yeah, let's pod.
How's it, guys? Welcome to the first official episode of the BullsEye Pod, brought to you by both members of the BullsEye Team, myself, Mark, and KK over here. And it's going to be a weekly deep dive into the Vodacom Bulls, the news, the team, the latest updates, potential rumors. We're going to have Bulls players on as guests. So this is the place to go if you're a Vodacom Bulls fan. And we're calling it For the Fans, By the Fans. And let's kick things off immediately in earnest, Cakes.
Yeah, bo.
Coach Jake White, unfortunately, fell with an abdominal injury, emergency surgery in Pretoria. Thankfully, he's all right. He's going to be okay, but he's been under the weather for so long. Missed the Dragons game, couldn't be there in person because he was so ill. But he's now been put on essentially bed rest or on a hiatus for a month. So there is some worry not having our coach, a world-class elite coach like Jake White. But the good news is that the team that he's assembled around him, you've got Chris Rousseau, who's probably going to spearhead it. You've got Nollis Murray, Russell Winter, John William Mayer, Vanna Creer, so on, so on. And these guys have mostly been around since 2020 when he arrived. So in good hands, the continuity, the synergy is there. So I don't think we need to panic.
Yeah, not at all, Mark. And I heard that it went well. So tops up to Coach Jake and hope he comes back strong. And I saw today when I was watching training just before this, Marcus, it was like clockwork for them. It was like it was like he was there. You know what I mean? They all work towards the one goal. So it was cool to see all the guys working together for this big game on Saturday.
Obviously, huge one. Yeah. Exeter. But let's chat some news, some hot off the press. And the first one is News 24 comes out with an article where Swayze the Brain, I don't want to say took a shot at the Bulls.
I didn't like what he said.
I didn't either. About our strategy in terms of resting the big name players, the first string Oaks, and sending a second string team to play in the Heineken Champions Cup against Lyon and then against Exeter. He said that resting the Oaks, it was that lacking the synergy and cohesion, and we lost the 2 derby games. But Kate, I mean, we still back the strategy.
Yeah, I think I still back the strategy. I think it's too early to say, to be honest, if the strategy has worked or not. You know what I mean, Marcus? But I definitely do back it because I think we need to judge it after the next 2 games, Exeter and Lyon. Because obviously, that first game against Lyon, we didn't expect a W from the boys, and we got the W, boy. It was unreal. And then with the second team, our second team, and obviously we lost to Exeter, which we were expecting. Yeah. Then we lost those back-to-back derbies, which makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. If you look after the Dragons game, we're still third in the log. Yeah. If we beat Exeter and beat Lyon, we definitely could go through to the next round. So I think, all in all, I think it's been a good strategy. But I think let's judge it after these next 2 European Cup games. Mark, what do you think?
And the other thing is, if you tell anyone you're going to play the Sharks and Stormers both away back-to-back, name one team in the URC, I include Leinster, that's going to win both of those games. Yeah. Leinster's not winning both of them. They're going to drop at least one. No, I don't think there's any other team that could win even one of those games away. So, I mean, 2 of the toughest, that's probably the toughest little stint in the schedule for any team. Sure. So, again, we lose those 2. There were stints where we were the better team. I thought we were the better team for the opening 25 minutes against the Sharks. It's one of the most difficult places to play in the whole competition. So, there's no easy games. And speaking of that, we go up, we beat Dragons. Sway said that any team, we should be able to beat Dragons, not beat teams. I mean, in those conditions, apparently it was windy as all hell, and we came out with the W. So, you got W there, W unexpectedly against Lyon. Yes, you dropped the games against Exeter, Stormers and Sharks. But as you say, if we can win Saturday, you're pretty happy with that return overall.
Yeah, and Swayze, Mark Swayze must chill because we must also look at, before the game, made big mention of how Dragons can be a bit of a banana peel. Marcus, how they beat Munster. Do you know what I mean? To beat Munster is a tough old fixture. And then they beat someone else. I just can't remember the top of my head who was really good, Marcus. So it's not an easy fixture away from home, Marcus. So Swayze must just relax and then I think must judge the strategy after, like we said, these next couple of weeks.
And then the other thing that's been in the press that we're not too chuffed with is a couple of shots at our captain, Ruan Nortje. He was then interviewed Rugby 365 where he kind of had to defend himself almost in his captaincy. I love what he said though. He said, my teammates back me and he's a super humble guy. So I think that's what's important is that he's a humble guy. He wouldn't just say this. If he's got the backing of his teammates, they're all invested, they all supporting him, then that's all you really need. He's 24 years old. He's a youngster. He's going to grow into the role. We can't just expect him to be Marcel Coetzee, Dwayne Vermeulen. It's going to take some time. But most importantly, teammates support him. and he leads from the front, and that's what you want in a leader.
Yeah, 100%, Marcos. Taking a shot at Ruan Nortje, he's been at the leadership position for just over a month, Marcos. Really, I think it's unfair on the press, but that's what comes with being a Bulls captain, not being Marcos. We're captaining the biggest franchise in the world. It comes with that. But I love what he said. He doesn't read the papers. He doesn't bother him what it's been said outside of the camp. So that's the mark of a true leader. And he's saying, and the humility to even say in the article, Marcos, that he's still growing into that position. He's still a young guy. Ruan Nortje. He's not old. He's not old at all. He might look like a man, but he's still a really young boy, Marcos. So like he's still growing into the role. And so if he can just stick to what he's saying, stick to his teammates, follow the right guys, follow the other leaders, Bismarck, all those guys, and learn from the base, I think he'll be fine, Mark.
He's got a great leadership group around him. But I want to chat about some rumors here. The one is, and we can't confirm or deny it, Kirsten joining the Bulls. It's been all over the press. Obviously, a guy who played for the Bulls since 2013 for a couple of years, over 50 caps here. Then he goes to stints in Japan, and then he goes to Exeter, where he was like crucial in that when they did the double, when they won the Prem and the Champions Cup in the same season in 2020. He was like one of the linchpins for the team. And Oku can play 4, play 7, even 8 or 6 in a pinch. So super versatile, brings the physicality, and that's the kind of player we're trying to, versatile, physical. That's the kind of pack we're trying to develop here.
Yeah, Mark, I was really, when I didn't really know much about him, I'll be honest. Obviously, when you say that, I did a bit of research on him, and I did 60 caps for Exeter. He's a proper player, he's 111 kgs, but you made a good mention of it in the week, Marcus. How is in between, like, being like a tall lock.
Yeah, he's a tweener. Yeah.
He's a tweener, yeah.
A short lock or an enormous loose forward. He's kind of in between the two. So it's quite interesting because the way that Exeter utilised him, 67% of the time in the back row, blindside at 8, and then 33% of the time at lock. So he's properly versatile. He's comfortable in both positions. But I want to chat about the fact that News 24 put out an article saying there's a scarcity of number 4 big boys. The scarcity of number 4 big boys is hurting South Africa's top franchises, saying that we're lacking those monsters. And he's not a monster at playing at 4 by any stretch. And Jake traditionally likes a big number 4, like Jason Jenkins when he rides over 2 meters, brought in Volt, over 2 meters, monster. Jacques Duplessis brought in, Ruan Nortje, as you mentioned. So these are all big guys, so he doesn't really fit that mold. So are we going to utilize him as a loose forward in a crowded loose forward room? Are we going to use him as a 4? Is he going to bring that versatility and play both? It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But I want to chat about the other one, and this one we can confirm. Obviously, it's been announced. Wilco Louw will be joining us.
This is the big one.
In June. This is huge.
I love this one.
We've been saying that we need a tight head. No one's really filled the void since Trevor, but I think Mornay Smith's been really, really good. I think he dominated Stephen Kitsoff, but you need the depth there as well. 13 cap Springbok. Just joined Quins in 2020, been one of the most consistent performers. Just a proper quality, world-class tight head. And at 28, still going into his prime as a tight head.
100% Marcus. And we also remember him from his days down in VPA, won a Curry Cup there with Western Province, Marcus. And we need a full, I think what you said was so important on the nail, we need a full-on tight head who can scrum, who can put all our money on it. Because at the moment, our tight heads, obviously, they're still growing into the role, a lot of them, you know what I mean, Marcus? We're good on the loose head side, and on the tight head side, we need someone to give Mornay Smith a bit of a push, for his role, and Wilco will definitely do that, Mark.
And speaking of Wilco, this quote from Adam Jones, of course, a tight head legend for Wales. I really love this quote. He goes, "It doesn't make any sense, as big and as fit as he is, because he is the best part of 21 stone, that's over 130 kgs, but he is ridiculously fit, low body fat percentage, just a bit of an anomaly, really." So that just speaks about this athletic freak that we're getting. I mean, the Oak's a unit, but low body fat percentage, can get around the park and carry. He's been a workhorse for Harlequins. He's played really well for them. Big fan of him. Great signing. And actually, the other thing I want to mention is he said he had to change the way he scrummed because he goes to France for a year, and the way they scrum is all angles, all over the place. They're trying to pop each other up like a champagne cork, or they collapse. Whereas it's very heavily scrutinized, the scrum is in the UK. So he had to change the way he scrums, get a bit squarer. So it'd be interesting to bring those 2 scrummaging experiences to the Vodacom Bulls.
Yeah, it will definitely help us out for sure there. Scrum. And our scrum at the moment is on the hiatus as well. So if you add him to that, it's going to be unbelievable, Marky.
Hiatus?
I mean, on the up.
On the up. All right, Cakes, it's time to announce our first guest on the BullsEye Pod. It is, of course, the man who needs no introduction, David Kriel.
What an honor. Welcome to the pod, sir. It's going
the hot seat. The hot seat. So straight from training, David?
Yeah, straight from
Tough
training.
sesh?
Yeah, very quick. The lungs were burning. Luckily not just mine, but some of the Oaks were complaining, but
Yeah, I was watching you actually.
No,
I was
it was-
cooking out there.
yeah, no, but it was good.
32
It was
degrees.
good. Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was a good session. I think
Yeah.
we got all the prep that we needed for the weekend. So yeah,
So Exeter is going to be a hell of a challenge.
yeah, no, I mean, they showed it in the last game. Their quality side. I mean, a lot of internationals. So yeah, we're not expecting an easy one just because we're playing on Loftus or relying on altitude or something. But yeah, no, Exeter is a quality side. I mean, they've won the competition before.
Sure.
So yeah, it's
No,
gonna
they
be a
did the
real
double. They
Yeah.
did,
That's
Prem
it.
and
Yeah,
Heineken.
that's
It's
massive.
crazy.
Yeah, that's hopefully we can get that this year.
yeah, cool.
It's one
Yeah,
step
we're
at a
working-
time.
we're working towards that. So yeah, that's definitely one of our goals.
But let's get to your form in particular. We're chatting about it on the commentary non-stop. Like, we think you're playing at an elite level, Springbok level. We both think. So if you don't mind me saying, you've obviously been a good player in 2020, 2021, great seasons, but we think you've taken a step up in 2022. I don't know if you agree with that personally.
No,
Do you?
I do. Yeah, no, I feel very confident at the moment. So yeah, I'm just enjoying every game I get, every opportunity I get. So yeah, I must say I'm quite proud. I'm quite proud about my form lately. So yeah, just hoping on building on that. So yeah.
But was there something you actively did in the off season, do you think? Or was it like a maturity thing? Because obviously you're still a very young guy. Just maturity, or did you actively do something physically, mentally, or what was it that? Or was it just playing with confidence, just confidence in yourself?
Yeah, besides the preseason and the conditioning and everything, I mean, in my earlier days, I usually made the game bigger than it actually is, and just forgot about, listen, it is rugby, it's something I love, I enjoy doing it, so why do I put myself under unnecessary pressure? So I just go in every game, just wanted to showcase my talent and what I can do, and yeah, like I said, not make the game bigger than it actually is, and just enjoy it, because I mean, rugby is a lacquer sport. People watch it because it's a lacquer
Yeah,
sport.
100%. You're expressing yourself out
yeah.
there. It's unreal to watch. You know, DK, like, it's Springbok form at this stage. I know it's still early, but it's unbelievable. And also, I need to apologize to you, DK, because
No.
I need to apologize to you because when they put you at 12, I was a bit iffy. Can DK slot in at 12? But my goodness, I was so impressed, DK. You were so good at 12, even defensively, you know, just like reading the channels, you know, running your lines. I was so impressed. So I'm going to apologize.
I appreciate it.
But you were saying you enjoyed playing at 12.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Being
very
in the
much.
middle, being in the action.
Yeah, I enjoy the involvement. I mean, and basically stepping in as the second general to the 10. So yeah, I enjoy the involvement. I enjoy being part of the game the whole time. Like, on outside backs, it's not involvement the whole time. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I enjoyed 12. And it's just a lack of position.
Yeah, it's just like even that day when we were man down and you had to play 10. Do you remember that day?
I remember.
He gets a shock. Did you enjoy? I know we were man down, but we were out of 10. Did you enjoy playing 10 that game?
I love 10.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I love, anywhere midfield. I mean,
You were taking kicks for posts as well, weren't you, in that game?
Yeah, I did. But
Did you sink one? I can't remember.
No, that's what I actually wanted to say. I didn't. In that week, building up to the game, I didn't actually train my kicking at posts as much as I did. And then, who knows, flipping Morningstone getting red card, 10th minute of the game, Chris Smith getting knocked out. So
Yeah.
it's never in front of you that both 10s are going to be off. So, but I think that game also taught me to always be prepared for a situation like that. So unlucky I didn't slot one, but hopefully if I get the chance again I will.
But then on that point, it was, when did we play where Chris, was it Dragons? It was our last game, no?
Yeah.
Where Chris last minute was out.
Yeah.
Goose had to slot in a 10. Were you then, there was no reserve 10 on the bench. Were you the reserve 10?
I don't know about 10, but I was the reserve kicker.
Kicker.
But I think Coach Chris said, I think he just drilled it into Goose's mind that he has to last 80. So
and that synthetic pitch as well.
Yeah. So, but if something like that happens, I'm always focused on my homework that I have to do. I'm always focused on what we need to achieve. So I'm always comfortable with any call, with managing the game and all of that. So if that happens, I'll always be ready to step up to the plate. So Yeah.
Just out of interest, like when you know that sometimes you have to play that, like especially for the Sharks game, do you practice with kicking a bit more, or do you just
Yeah, no, I always I think
Okay.
kicking in rugby is always it's a big factor in the game. So always when I get time extras after or before training, usually me and Zach before training always train our kicking.
Okay.
Even if I play wing on the weekend, I still do my kicking.
Awesome.
Just having that kicking boot. I mean, like you said, you never know when you have to slot in there, and then that is a huge asset to the game if you have that skill. So I always work on it. So just to be prepped for that. Yeah.
So let's chat injury, because I know you went down. It was Cardiff, was it not?
Yeah, I was against Cardiff.
Obviously, we were saying momentum was incredible, playing with confidence. We're saying at a Springbok level, I'm sure you went into that game with enormous confidence, and then you get that injury, you go off. One, it's obviously never nice for a professional rugby player to get injured, but does it make it that much worse when you're playing, when you think you're playing at an elite level and you're playing confident rugby? Are you just worried you're going to lose your momentum?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I wouldn't say like I was worried. I was more disappointed because of the bump in the road. I mean, like you said, confidence was brewing, and also I was playing good. I had momentum. So when the injury happened, the first thing I hoped was it wasn't as serious, so I can get as soon as possible back onto the pitch. And luckily it wasn't as serious. We just treated it well, thanks to the whole medical staff, the physios and stuff. So I wouldn't say we rushed me back, but I came back quite quickly, and it's just basically now a rebuilding phase. But I think the games leading up to the injury, now I know what I can do, and that confidence is still there. So I think it's just have to get a good game that, how can I say this?
Under the belt.
Yeah, under the
Muscle
belt.
memory. Get the muscle memory.
To get the muscle memory,
back,
exactly.
yeah.
Putting the words in my mouth. So just to have that one game that just rebuilds that muscle memory again. So
I'm back at this weekend, putting it out there.
Now we're hoping for that.
But you're probably going up against Jack Knoll, we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Should he start?
Yeah.
Obviously a physical customer. He's like 98 kgs, I think. But he was there was talk he was going to play flank at one point. Great over the ball, physical, powerful. How do you deal with a wing like that, like an Oak is like shot out of a cannon?
I think just to cut off his space. I mean, players like that strive off space and time. So I back our defense to hopefully cut off the pass before it gets to him. But once if he gets the ball, I'll make sure I'm in his face, cut off his space, and like they always say, pak your skouers maar in, because it's going to be a physical battle, but one I'm looking forward to.
Cool. I think it would be sacrilegious. We'll quickly change. It would be sacrilegious to talk to you and not talk about Grey Bloom. And you know what I mean? I just want to quickly, just because for the people, a lot of people watch will definitely be Grey Bloom or boys, or going to Grey Bloom. I mean, Mark's one of Mark's like nephews. He's a Grey Bloom now, so you know what I mean. So you would love to hear a word about, So I know you went from Paul Rus, right? I mean, from Paul Rus, from Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch to Bloemfontein. At what age did you leave Stellenbosch?
We left when I was I think I was 12 years old at the start of 2011.
Okay, and then was that because you wanted to go to Grey Bloom, or was it just a family move?
No, it was a family move. My dad actually got a job. We actually didn't move to Bloemfontein. We moved to Ladybrand's, like a very rural town on the border of Lesotho. So we were there. It was a work move. We just moved with my dad and basically started over there, and then from there I went to Grey Bloom, and I never looked back since.
Yeah, for sure. And those years at Grey Bloom, what can you tell us about those years, especially those beginning years? Like, as soon as you walk into that school, you just felt like it's a special place.
It actually happened before I was there, because I have an older brother who was in Paul Rus, and then he went to Grey, so it was a bit of a difficult.
So there's a third Kriel brother.
Yeah, older one. Yeah. So so he was in Paul Rus. I was still primary school, and then we moved, and he went from Paul Rus to Grey. So it was quite a difficult aanpassing. What's the English word? But aanpassing for him to get into Grey. Yeah, and I remember, I think I was grade 7, and it was Grey Bloom versus Paul Rus on Grey's Field 2012, and I remember we went to go watch it. because my older brother doesn't play rugby, but we still went to go watch it because I still had to decide which high school I wanted to go to, and actually getting goosebumps of just thinking about it. But when we got there, just saw the vibes, saw the blue, yellow and white blazers, and and then they played. I think the second teams drew. And then the first team came and they said, Paul Roos's favourites or something, because I think Grey didn't have a great team that year.
For Grey.
Yeah, for Grey it wasn't a great team. But then still, I went to go watch and I thought, but how can they say this team isn't great? Because they're rolling over Paul Roos. And I think they beat them by 10 or 15 points. And then, after that, I just felt like this calmness over me. I just settled to go to Grey, and especially the early years. I mean, from the first day I got there, I knew this was the right decision.
That's a great story.
And obviously, you played a bit with Richard there.
Yeah.
So we've got to mention Richard over at Zebra. And I remember I interviewed you before, and you said that you played Richard at under 19 level. Was it? You played for Western Province.
No. After school, he came immediately to the Bulls. I was first at Western Province, but we played at school, first team level. We played together, but. That was the only time we played together.
But then when you played against each other, didn't he step you and score a try?
He didn't score, but
but he stepped you.
But
that's all that matters.
That always comes up. I mean,
there's a follow-up question. I was just hanging you out the car.
No, that's good. He gave me a nice goose. He made me sit, and then I was tackling the grass or something. So
But then
he got me.
We're all going to play Zebra this season.
In 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, I think. Yeah.
Or when you play Zebra again, and obviously he's fit and healthy and all of that, surely there's an element of revenge there in the back of your mind. You've got to get in space, one-on-one. You've got to get one around him.
If it comes, I think it will. That thought will come over me. But I mean, I just miss the guy, so I'm just looking forward to playing against him, seeing him. So hopefully both of us are fit and ready at that time, and get the opportunity to play against each other. We'd rather have him on my side than against me, but. Just like I said, I just miss my brother, and I can't wait to see him. But if that opportunity comes up,
you have to give him one.
I will work on my footwork from today onwards. So.
Please. Oh, that'd be great.
Cakes, you've got from the mailbag, we've got some questions from fans.
So just quick, let me read. So there's 4 questions for you, Davey. So it's from James Porchita. James, luckily I loved your question. It's in Afrikaans, but I'm just doing it in English. He says that keep the hard work and just strive to be the best, and you're sure doing that. And then he asked, what was your time in the 100 meter? Your fastest time in 100 meter high school, or your fastest time?
My fast,
I want to know this.
I actually didn't run 100 meters competitive at school. I was more like a 200, 400 and a high jumper. But always, I think my fastest time in 100 meter was, I think 11.8 or 11.9.
That's quick.
No, it wasn't that fast. I think the fastest guy that year, Janko van Heiningen was his name. I think he ran like close to 11 flat or something. I don't know.
But he must have been an athlete, like an actual athletics.
He was very good at athletics. So 11.8, 11.9 wasn't actually as good as it sounds.
But for what, 6'4", I think. You're 6'4", aren't you? 6'5".
Yeah, I'm 6'4".
6'4".
That's quick.
That's a great time.
Yeah. That's great, and then there you go, James, 11.8, Can you beat that? And then Vanna Klotz, he wants to ask, I think most people want to know this, what is your favorite position? Because we've seen you play 12, 10, 11, 14, and 15. I don't think I've seen you play 13, but what's your favorite position?
No, I've played one game at 13. At the start of last year, I played against the Pumas 13. But favorite position, obviously I feel most at home at 15. But yes, I love 12 and 13 as well. So I must say my favorite positions must be centre or fullback. But wherever I play, wherever I get the opportunity, I'll be happy to step in and do that job.
100%. I think most people agree with that. But at 14 as well, you can also be destructive. And then Dylan Duplessis, he's a friend of our show, friend of our commentary. He wants to know how it's a bit sentimental. How has rugby changed your life, David Kriel?
Sure. No, it changed my life a lot. Ever since I was a young boy, I never thought about anything else than becoming a rugby player, myself and Richard included. So, and we didn't have the best upbringing. We were quite poor when we were smaller, and I think that just made like a fire inside me and driven me with motivation to make it. So, just to look after my family and hopefully make sure that they don't go through the same that we did, or if I have kids in the future or whatever, so that they don't go through the same that I did. So yeah, it's actually, rugby is for me, it's more than just myself. It's for my inner circle and the people I most care about. So yeah, rugby has changed my life tremendously.
What an answer.
That is special. That's what rugby does with South Africans.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, I might cry. So just to get the tears away, Mr. Temba Gote wanted to ask, if you weren't playing rugby, what do you think you'd be doing?
If I wasn't playing rugby,
have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Like I said, ever since I was young, I wanted to play rugby. But I must say, I was always a sporty kid, so I probably would have gone into like cricket or athletics, because those were the other two sports I excelled in. But if we put sports aside, I probably would have gone into the business world and started business with my father and work with him. So because he's also a role model of mine. So probably would have done that if I didn't do sports. So
nice.
There you go, guys.
Okay, we got some. Before we finish up, we got some quick fire questions. So these are just off the top of your head. Bang, quick. Okay, rugby idol growing up.
Israel Folau.
Favorite dog.
I think you already know. Brandy and
Best mate in the squad.
Zach Burger.
Bulls or Stormers?
Not Bulls.
Best player you ever played against?
Ever played against? That's a tough one. Probably the best I've played against must be Josh van der Fleer.
That's a good shout.
Who in the squad would you take to war?
Ruan Nortje.
Great answer. Which player wouldn't you let date your sister?
Oh wow! Me and my sister. Sorry to my mate, but James Verity.
Oh, Jam.
Poor Jam. I heard they call him Tarzan today. I think it was you who shouted Tarzan.
Yeah, because I heard the one time Cornell told him he's the Tarzan from Wish. But he resembles the Tarzan. So it's good.
Okay, last thing is we introducing a new segment into our BullsEye. We've got our own merch. Awesome. Every guest is going to write down on a piece of paper their MVP. So not necessarily the most talented player on the squad, whatever, but just the guy who they think offers the most, makes the biggest contribution, or most valuable contribution. Could be on the field, off the field, locker room, training sessions, all of that. So we're going to ask you to write that player's name down. We'll keep it anonymous. At the end of the season, we'll announce the winner from the votes. So if you could please, if you have someone in mind, write down on that piece of paper.
All right.
Can't lose this mug, eh?
There you go.
Should have a look at Marky. Okay, that's special.
So why would you go for that player?
Like you said, just not just on field, but off field, and just being like a normal person. I mean, he's an awesome oak, on rugby, actually being the MVP for me is. He's always the guy that does the most homework. He's always the guy who's clear on what we want to do. He's always clear on how we want to do it. And he's just, I don't want to give too much away, but like he steers the ship, I feel. He's, to me, that's why he's the most valuable player in and outside of rugby at the Bulls for me.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
What a way to end. Thank you so much
Awesome.
for joining
Thanks,
us, David.
Mark.
It's been quality.
Okay, good.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Let's chat about the future. Actually, first go to the past. Let's chat about the Dragons game. Tough conditions. Ruan actually said if you weren't there, you wouldn't know how windy it was. Apparently, it was really, really difficult to play. We won at 29-14, scoring 4 tries in the process. Lion's share possession in territory. Beat 18 defenders, crucially 4 by Harold. Harold is just playing lights out at the moment.
He was unbelievable. And that's a meet.
Great angles, great lines, as you know my line that I like to use.
Yeah, like a Bolivian nightclub. Yeah.
Better lines than a Bolivian nightclub.
Yeah.
But on top of that, just missing just 10 tackles to their 18, so 91% tackle completion. So and actually crucially, only 8 penalties to their 17. So they more than double the penalties that we had.
Yeah, 100%, Mark. I think it was, the first half, we started off like house on fire, you know what I mean? That first try with Goose, he beats a couple of 2 men, puts Kirtley through. Great start to the game. And then we score another try a bit later, and then they come back, Marcus, with 2 quick tries in the second half of the first half. And then we were really against it there, Marcus. We went into the shed, and I was like, oh no, are we getting a replay of the last couple of weeks? Back-to-back losses. We kind of have 3 in a row, and then we came out the shades like a house on fire. That unbelievable, that dominant scrum. And let's speak about the scrum, because they're the worst scrummaging team in the whole competition. And that try by Harold Foster, with that dominant scrum, first base set piece ball, great line by Harold Foster. He goes over the whitewash marks, and after that, I think it was tickets for them. They just kept giving away penalty scrums. We just dominated the set piece from there. Like, so we didn't miss many tackles, and we made 91% of our tackles. So although we didn't defend that much, I think we only made like 105 tackles, if I'm not mistaken. We made 91% of those tackles.
That shows that we're keeping ball in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows that. And also, even though when we are making, with those 105 tackles, we're making most of them, which is unbelievable. Yeah.
And speaking of dominance that you mentioned, our loose trio, I wanted to chat about them. We nicknamed them the Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers.
Ulrich Loh bagged man of the match. He had 6 successful carries, did a lot of cleanup work, but he's now 3rd in the comp in carries. He's got 120. He's 5th in successful carries with 53. He's 10th in tries with 4, and he's gained 331 meters, and he's 8th in tackles made with 110. So he's making on average 11 per game, and he's making 90% of those tackles. So he's just playing lights out at the moment, like Springbok level, top of the pops, probably the best 8 in the country at the moment, in my opinion. And he's looking like that world-class player that we all knew he was capable of being.
Mark's only got 3 turnovers, 1. Let's forget about that. That's unbelievable for number 8, you know what I mean? And obviously being part of the Bash Brothers, Marco Verstappen had a great game. Yesterday the stats weren't showing, but I think with ball in hand, he was just so physical again. Mark was over the ball, and then also
he's 2nd in the whole comp in turnovers. He's won 12 turnovers.
100%. Like in the whole tournament, I'm saying in the game, the stats might not show, but he was so good. He was so industrious. We thought he had an unbelievable game. We thought you could get man of the match, Marcos. So that 3-headed monster is really proving to be a tough one. We've got Nizam Khan as well now. We can come off the bench and replace one of those guys.
But Carl Brink as well. I mean, he hasn't played as much rugby as the others, but he is. I've actually got a great stat here. He's only played in 5 games. He has 33 tackles, but he hasn't missed a single one. That's phenomenal.
Insane.
He hasn't missed a single tackle in 5 games, Carl Brink. That is
crazy.
It's a crazy stat.
No, that's what you need. That's what you need from your number 7, hey Mark. I mean, how do you live up to that? Because if you miss 8 tackles, you've had a great game. He hasn't missed in 5 games.
Yeah,
that is sensational.
No, he's a proper gain line merchant. He's one of those proper consistent go for it. Just every time he gets the ball, where he's going. Generates that momentum, puts us on the front foot. Now, quality player, nicely balanced loose trio at the moment. As you mentioned, Nizam Khan as well into the mix, and potentially throwing a Janus Kirsten into the mix as well. Probably the deepest loose trio group along with Vilja, Stienka, Parlay. It's world, and Mkhali Mosi.
There's a lot of guys there. I just hope that Carl Brink can just stay fit, because he's a super rugby player, Mark.
I want to take stock of where we are at the moment, because we're 3rd on the log in the URC. I think we've had a good campaign. I think the 2 derby losses, of course, clouded for some people. They forget that we're in prime position. We're going to make the playoffs, no doubt. We've got like a 95% chance of making the playoffs or something. Can we get a home quarter? It looks like it. Probably end up having a home semi should we go through. So I think we're nicely primed. And if you look where we were at this time last season, I mean, it's chalk and cheese. But let's chat about just some of our stats at the moment, case I know you've got a few to throw out there.
Yeah. So like you said, Marcus, you said we're 3rd on the table, 39 points, and then we've got 7 bonus points. So I think, like you said, like we just mentioned now, last year this time we were fighting for top 8 spot. So it was really, we were struggling at this time of last year. You know what I mean? So like this year we're 3rd on the log, we're sitting comfortable. We've rested some few players in a couple of games, and then I also want to look at the other side. The games we've lost. We lost 4 games, right? The games we've lost have all been away. They're against the Sharks, Munster, Glasgow, and Stormers. Right, so that just shows that Loftus is an absolute fortress, Marcus. I mean, if I tell us that we've won our last 12 games unbeaten here at Loftus Versfeld, if you include Leon, 13 games. The last time we lost here, this is great. It was against the Sharks last year on the 29th of Feb. Which
crazy.
it's a blind spot for the Vodacom Bulls. But if you have to look at where we can improve is maybe away and getting over the line and these big games away from home, Marcos, because we are probably going to have to play an away game in the knockout stages possibly. So we need to figure out how we can travel a little bit better against the big boys.
And the last thing I want to chat about is our attack, because our attack has been phenomenal. I think a lot of South African teams cop unnecessary, undeserved flack. They say we kick a lot or we focus on set piece, but the Bulls attack with great precision, great intent. They play positive rugby, up tempo. I mean, we're second overall in attack in the comp, second in points scored, third in tries scored, fourth in offloads, third in meters gained, second in clean breaks. So we're playing proper, positive, up tempo, up the ante type of rugby that you love to see. And that's why coming here and watching the Vodacom Bulls play, we put on a performance, we put on a show.
Yeah, for sure, Marcus. When we were first in attack for quite a while in the season, so and Leinster have just gone past us, obviously because of those two losses we suffered in December now. But our attack, I think, is one of our strong points. I think one of our weak points is probably our defense at times, which we have to improve on. It is improving.
When you look at us against the Dragons, over 90% tackle.
I want to see us this weekend. This weekend is going to show us a lot, don't you think, Mark? It's going to show us a lot of our defense.
But let's chat about our opponents here. Let's know our foe, Exeter. Without Wilco and Dickie, obviously the English starter. So
that name is
terrific. But
Wilco and Dickie.
World-class player, I think, Carl Dickie. He was brilliant. I think he was man of the match against us when he went up to Dover to play them.
Wasn't it Hughes? What's his name? Hughes.
Oh, it was Dave Hughes, yeah. But he was in the contention. I think he scored at least 2 tries. He got a brace. So big loss for them. They are 6-6 in the Prem, so 6 wins, 6 losses. Yep. They're currently sitting 5th, and this is a team that likes to play up tempo. This is like they don't like to go to ground. They like to offload. They like to avoid rucks, and they love to keep the pressure on. This is a team that when they have you in their sights, they don't relent. Unrelenting team, unrelenting pressure. So you've got to find a way to deal with that pressure and overcome it if you're going to take them on properly, especially physically. Yeah,
physically, Marcus, and I'll get to this, but on that point, just quickly, they're also second in our pool. In Pool A in the European Championship in the Heineken Cup. So they are looking to top that group, which is great because there's lots of guys, and we're 7th at the moment. If you look at their attacks, Mark, they've scored 10 tries in 2 games, which is insane. So they're second in the whole comp, and they've scored 71 points, which is 3rd in the whole competition so far.
In 2 games?
Yeah, in 2 games. In 2 games, 10 tries. They scored 5 tries a game essentially, but they did score. They did bag a couple against us.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and they also pumped.
Do you remember Wendy's run there?
Yeah.
Like 40.
Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, Marcus, they're gonna put the pressure on us for sure. But they're coming up against a different monster in the Bulls. They didn't play the Bulls team. They're coming up against guys like Scott here aren't going to get that dominance that they were getting at scrum time, like they did last week. Because there's going to be some big boys behind Mornay Smith. Sorry, and
Mornay Stan.
I always say Mornay Stan, Mornay Smith and Khedi. So it's going to be a massive encounter, Marcus.
Yeah, there's a couple players to look out for. I want to chat. Do you want to chat Stuart Hogg? I mean, 96 cap Scottish veteran. Yeah, he's also the leading try scorer for Scotland of all time with 25.
That's unbelievable. He's a legend. Build him a statue. Yeah. Preparation Irish line, Marcus. He's probably if you're looking at their stars, he's probably their biggest star. I would say, Marcus.
In a team loaded with stars.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest star. So and with his attacking impetus from the back, his boot, his pace, he's got a wicked off the foot step. It's not like he won't dance around me, but he can definitely break your ankles.
Step without your foot?
No, man, like off 1 foot step. This guy's having a go at me today. But anyway, we have a Reece Hogg there. Marcus, I wanted to. Do you have anyone on the back line?
Yeah, I do. No.
Jack Noel.
Jack Noel. I mean, we speak about gain line merchant. This is an Oku. At one time, there was rumors he was going to play flank because he's so physical, like 1.8 meters, but 98 kgs, proper low sense of gravity, great over the pull at the breakdown, power personified, defensively sound. So I think whomever's on that wing, whether it's DK, whether it's Kanan, he's going to line up at Jack Noel because this is an Oku who plays proper rugby, international for England.
I think Deacon's will be lining up against. I think Jack Noel is 14, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be a massive battle.
Huge battle.
Yeah. Then Mark,
in the forwards.
Yeah, I went Scott Sear at prop.
Yeah.
I think he's there. I stand out. Obviously, there's a couple of them, but he's one of the standout players there. He dominated us when we were in scrum time last time out, Marcus. And he was really strong. And
Wallaby.
he's a Wallaby. Modern day prop. You know what I mean? He's not that just like blubberish player, like you said about Wilco Louw, you know what I mean? Low body percentage, fat percentage. So he's going to try and come at Mornay Smith this Saturday. And that's going to be a massive encounter. Thanks, bro.
I'm going Sam Simmons, the 8. Listen to this, 120 caps for Exeter and 81 tries. He was scoring 19 tries and 26 caps in 2020, which broke a record in the Premiership. So, again, world-class 8. Couple of caps for England. I think these are like 20-odd caps for England. So he's physical, but his game is in the wider tram lines. He tries to turn the corner, break the line, and he plays with guile and with pace. That he's not the physical behemoth that the other Oakers, who was man of the match. That was Dave Ewers, 1.93, 125 kg behemoth from Harare. This is Dave Ewers. So two totally different kind of Lucy's. We got to nullify this one. He's a proper. He brings the hammer down.
Sure.
So 222 caps. So veteran servant for Exeter. He's like second all-time cap.
So we've got a task on our hands ahead on Saturday.
But we've got the Lucia to do it. I mean, Ulrich against Sam Simmons is like battle of contrasting styles. You see Carl Brink, Nazam, whomever is at 7 against Ewers, and then Marco over the ball. I think we got their number. I really do. Yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, and we need the faithful out there for sure, Marcus. We need the faithful in their loads at Loftus, Marcus, to get behind the boys. It's going to be a massive game. It's a must win as well. It's not
go get your tickets, by the way. Yeah. It's going to be huge. I mean, to watch, it's probably we're going to bring the big guns. We're going to play a first-string team. So Vodacom Bulls, Exeter, revenge match on the cards right here at Loftus Fastfeld, 7:30 Saturday. It's going to be a humdinger. So make sure you get your tickets. Come out in droves. Paint Loftus blue again. It's going to be monstrous. Okay, well let's do our World Sports betting segment. We're going to look at our bets. We're going to put together a 4-game parlay each. Not necessarily encouraging you to bet, but I reckon this will land. Mine will land.
Yeah, yours. What is yours?
Let's
have a look at it. Let's think about yours first.
Let's have a look. So I'm looking at. Give me a second. Obviously, Bulls to beat Exeter. I'm just going flat out Bulls to beat Exeter. We're not doing handicaps and all that. We're just going flat out 4-game parlay. Bulls to beat Exeter. I'm really tempted to go Sale to beat Toulouse. Now, Sale playing at home, you've got the De Preers, you've got John O'Ross packed with South Africans. Sale's a really good team. Yeah. Playing at home, the French teams notoriously don't travel well. I'm going Sale. Their odds are 2.85, so Sale underdog, so you could get some great purchase, great value there. I want to go London Irish over Stormers as well. Ooh. After the whole Stormers debacle against Glasgow, maybe I bet against them, maybe some lack of money.
Yeah, and they're playing away. Hey?
Yeah, playing away.
And they also been the best travellers. The games they've lost. Remember the game they drew? Was the Dragons actually? Was it
Dragons?
Was it
Cardiff?
Was Cardiff in the rain?
They're not great travellers.
Yeah.
So I'm going London Irish, Bulls, Sale,
Bulls,
and then I might just go Sharks just to beat Bordeaux. Like Bordeaux's not going to beat the Sharks. In those conditions.
Yeah, and Bordeaux they've been struggling as well they're below us in our pool at the moment.
So that's my 4-game parlay.
Yeah. Okay, that's like I've got the return there.
The return,
depending on how much you put,
the odds are 10.65.
Okay, cool.
So if you put down $250, you're going to get back 275.
Yeah, so that's great.
Great return.
That's a great return. Yeah, I think yours is probably more likely than mine because I've got one fixture here, but I just had to pick it, Mark. So I went Bulls, obviously, to win at home, like you back the boys. And then this is the one, Ulster. Yes, there are a lot of the boys.
Also like 9.8.
Yeah, it's a 9.2 for them to win, and none of the boys are playing. But I just had to go for it because, they can. It's Ulster still a strong rugby side, but they're coming up against La Rochelle, who was so good. But I just wanted betting's about taking chances at times, and I think you have to take that chance. And Ulster are not. They're not a weak rugby team. I know they lost last weekend, but like we said, a lot of the guys are missing. But
top 4 in the URC.
Yeah, top 4 in the URC. Quality team.
Dwayne plays.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So we'll see. If I land that one, I think the other two Stormers. I went for Stormers away. I think especially coming off that defeat, they're going to want to go at them hammer and tongs and get their season on track, Marky.
They got absolutely toasted by that 14er. What's his name? Cavalier or whatever. That 14-year-old from Argentina absolutely toasted him.
I see that.
He scored some phenomenal. He scored the try that won him the game.
That's insane. And then I went Saracens. I just forgot who they're playing. They're playing Lyon. I went Saracens. They're playing Lyon. They play Lyon in the team that we played, and the odds were just too good. So I went for all the favourites except for Ulster because the Ulster odds were so high. So I think that was.
So you're playing it a bit safe outside of Ulster.
Yeah. But Ulster will give me nice odds there.
So we won 1v1 London Irish Stormers.
Yeah.
I'm going London Irish, you're going
I'm
Stormers.
going Stormers,
I just
yeah.
can't bet on the Stormers. I can't bring myself to do it. And I called it last minute. I was going to bet on them to beat Glasgow. Last minute, I was like, no. In those conditions, I heard they travelled they had some horrendous 40-hour trip via Doha again in economy class.
Awesome.
I was
love
like,
that.
rain was predicted. I was like, that was my bet. I'm still patting myself on the back for that one.
Yeah. No,
Glasgow's going to win this.
Well
It took them till the final seconds after the hooter, but they did it.
Yeah.
And they won me some cash as
Yeah,
well.
but at least now they didn't have to travel back to South Africa, after the Glasgow game, so they just quickly go to London. So so that could work for them. Yeah.
Tempted to change.
Yeah.
No, wait, London Irish. Come on, London Irish. You can do. I don't know a single one of your players. You can do it. Okay, some great bets there, Cakes. Great parlay. So if you want to lose your money, make sure you follow KK's 4-game parlay. I think mine's going to land. I'm going to make you some cash.
Okay.
But I think we'll leave it there. We had a great, phenomenal interview with DK. Obviously, we're all on the DK train, and we've had some great insights as well into the Vodacom Bulls this week. So thank you for joining us on the first official episode of the BullsEye Pod. We'll see you again next week for another episode. Cheers.
Good.